from the West Perry High School varsity baseball field in beautiful Elliotsburg, Pennsylvania. We got West Perry baseball in store for you today. It's a non-district rivalry here, a local rivalry for the West Perry Mustangs as they take on the Juniata Indians. West Perry coming on into this one with a 2-game winning streak, their second time this season where they won back-to-back games. They are 5-5 overall, 3-4 in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division. For Juniata, off to a rough start halfway through the season. They are 2-7 overall, as well as in the Tri-Valley League. Juniata, 9 straight games, all against Tri-Valley League opponents. The Indians are coming off a 15-8 loss this past Friday against Susquehanna. And West Perry are coming off a dominant victory from this past Saturday here at home. In just 5 innings, the Mustangs rode to a 16-3 win against Bermudian Springs for their second straight win. West Perry and Juniata, this is their first meeting since 2013. That was the year West Perry went undefeated 20-0 in the regular season before losing in the District 3 4A quarterfinals to Lampeter Strasburg. So West Perry obviously had a win against Juniata back there in 2013. We want to thank everyone at home for joining us here on the West Perry Athletic Department's YouTube page. My name is Alex Wall, bringing you live commentary for this exciting non-conference action. Juniata currently on a 2-game losing streak. Before they had a 5-game losing streak since starting the season with a win against Susquehanna at home. But West Perry having some really good baseball right now. Good winning each of the last 2 games, both of them at home. This is the 4th of 5 home games. The Mustangs, their last 3 games were at home, and they got back-to-back home games. They are here today against Juniata, and tomorrow they'll be taking on the Morning Springs Bubblers. Very exciting Mid-Penn Conference action. For West Perry, we're coming off a huge win against Bermudian Springs this past Saturday, with the Mustangs scoring 11 runs in the 4th inning alone to seal the deal against Bermudian Springs. So far, Bryce Smith, he had a rough start to the season earlier, but ever since that big win against Waynesboro, Bryce Smith has had a really hot bat on Saturday. He hit three singles on the day. He went 3 for 3 with a stolen base and 5 RBIs against Bermudian Springs. He also, according to West Perry head coach Jeff Sando, Bryce Smith had a ball hit right at the second baseman. In fact, the ball actually went to the second baseman's glove. So Bryce Smith hitting the ball hard and getting it down for base hits. And West Perry playing some really good baseball as of late, and all started this past Thursday against Waynesboro. Their last loss was against Shippensburg, 7-2. That was last Tuesday. But ever since then, West Perry has had a hot bat, and they had a walk-off win against Waynesboro this past Thursday. They're defending Mid-Penn Colonial Division champions, avenging a tough loss that they had back in the second game of the year at Waynesboro, which the Indians won 4-3. But here they are for the second straight non-conference action, and here come the Mustangs taking the field. We have the lineups here for both teams. Juniata, the Indians, will be the first to bat, and our lineup is as follows. Dawson Harper is at second base, batting first. Josh Baumberger is the starting pitcher for Juniata, and he'll be batting second. Jacob Condo will be over at left field. Chase White will be at first base, batting fourth. Logan Keller will be at center field, batting fifth. The third baseman, Will Orwig, will be batting sixth. The shortstop, Paul Ames, will be batting seventh. Ben Fry will be out in right field, batting eighth. And Patrick Williams will be a designated hitter, batting ninth. Seth Loeb, will be the catcher for the Juniata Indians. The starting pitcher for today for the West Prairie Mustangs is Nelson Siebold. He had that big pitching performance against Waynesboro last Thursday, so he'll be looking to continue the hot start on the mound. Last Saturday, we saw the return of Aiden Wilson after being quarantined for a little over a week, but due to a negative COVID-19 test and new guidelines enforced by the West Prairie High School, West Prairie School District, he was able to return early, and he got the big win this past Saturday against Bermuda Springs, and he is back in action here today, batting third. He'll be at third base. He'll be batting sixth, cleaning the spot. The umpires for today's games: Byron Lebo will be calling balls and strikes behind home plate, and Brian Rahm will be calling the bases. A beautiful day here for West Prairie baseball. We're about to get started here. West Prairie versus Juniata, non-conference action. Juniata out of the Tri-Valley League, also out of District 6. We are about to get underway. The weather for today, perfect. A few clouds in the sky, but no rain is in the forecast, and it's currently 66 degrees. A little bit of wind, but nothing too significant here. And we are about to get underway here. The leadoff batter, Dawson Harper, is laying off for the Juniata Indians, and he takes a swing at the first pitch, and that's got to go foul for strike one. West Prairie has won back-to-back games twice this season, and they are looking to win 3 straight games. There's a big swing and a miss from Harper. I wonder if Dawson Harper has any relations with Philadelphia Phillies outfielder Bryce Harper, one of the best players in Major League Baseball. And here's the 0-2 pitch from Seybold, a swing and a miss, and a perfect start for Nelson Sibo, a 3-pitch strikeout to start the game. A 3-pitch strikeout will start the game. And up next is Josh Baumberger, the starting pitcher for Juniata. Batting second here, with nobody on and 1 out. And that pitch looked a bit low, but home plate umpire calls it a strike. Byron Lebo, man, that pitch looked really low from up here. It could have been a pitcher's call there, so 0-1 is the count. And there's a swing as tipped, fouled back, 0-2 already the count. 5 straight strikes here for Nelson Sibo to start this game. Could he possibly be looking for back-to-back strikeouts on 6 pitches to start the game? Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Nelson. And swing, grounded there to third. Aiden Russell has a throw over to Derek Snook is in time, and they are very quickly 2-away here to start the game. Nice play there from Aiden Russell. Great to see him back. To everyone at home who was hoping to watch the game on Saturday against Bermuda Springs, we do apologize for technical difficulties, and we were not able to stream that game over here on Saturday. Up next is Jacob Condo, and he swings at the first pitch, and that's got to get past Derek Snook for a base hit. Derek Snook tripping on his way to grab that ball, but it's going to be a base hit for Jacob Condo. Condo swing on the first pitch, and he gets the base hit. Up next is Chase White, the first baseman for Juniata. He's got a runner on first with 2 outs. This really looked like they were on our way to a very quick inning. Here's a big swing and a miss from White, 0-1. pitch, and there for called strike 2. That's 9 straight strikes from Nelson Sibo. 0-2 pitch is coming up, looking for a very quick inning, and no, the runner's on his way to second. Perfectly timed throw is in time. Big mistake there by Jacob Condo, and the side is retired. Even though with 2 strikes, they had to throw over. That saves 1 pitch. Juniata goes down on 9 pitches. We are going to the bottom of the first with no score. You're watching West Prairie Baseball against Juniata, exclusively on the West Prairie Athletic Parks YouTube page. We'll be right back for the bottom of the first. We are back here for the bottom of the first inning. West Prairie, Nelson Seybold getting a very quick inning, a strikeout, and then ground ball. Gave up a base hit to Jacob Condo with 2 outs, but Condo trying to get lucky and looking for a perfect jump. But he was caught paying for it, caught trying to steal second. And so no score here. And the top of the lineup, Trenton Herrera, the shortstop, will be batting first. He'll be followed up with Josiah Clegg on deck, and Nelson Seybold will be batting third. And that is a called strike to Trent Herrera. The pitcher for Juniata, Josh Baumberger, throws the next pitch, and that's a ball, 1-1. It was a very good inning for Nelson Seybold on the mound in the top of the first inning, throwing 9 straight strikes, no balls given up. And there is ball 2 to the West Prairie shortstop. West Prairie offense has come alive, ladies and gentlemen. West Prairie baseball in their 2 games, one at Camp Hill and again at home against Shippensburg, they only had 1 hit in each of those 2 games. Both of them coming off the bat of Johnny Clegg. But ever since then, the bats have come alive, including 11 runs in the 4th inning against Permian Springs this past Saturday. So 3-1 count coming up here. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Bomberger, and that's called for strike 2. So the full count here at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nice job for Trent Herrera to load this count up. Looking to get on base in any way he can. Three-two pitch. Call strike 3. And that's the first out. A really good pitch there for Josh Baumberger. So strikeout here to start the inning. Same situation back in the top of the first inning, leading off the game with a 3-pitch strikeout. Up next is Josiah Twig. The catcher for the Mustangs, as he looks at first pitch strike, 0-1. One pitch is strike two, so good. And coming up here, Josh Baumberger had a big battle with Trent Herrera too late off the game. But here he's got 0-2 count very quickly to Josiah Twig, the catcher for the Mustangs. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Baumberger, and a swing. It's got to get grounded by the second baseman. Throw over to first is in time, and there are now 2 outs. Let's play there from Dawson Harper. All right to him, and there are 2 away now. Up next is Nelson Seybold. We'll see if Nelson Seybold would help his own cause with a base hit, same way that Juniata had in the first inning. 2 very quick outs, a strikeout and a ground ball. And then he fought in third batter for Juniata, got a base hit. The first pitch was a ball, 1-0. And there's strike 1. Counting about 1 ball, 1 strike. 66 degrees, the game time temperature. A beautiful day for West Prairie baseball. It's supposed to be a very beautiful week here for West Prairie athletics. And there's strike 2. Big pitch coming up here, 1-2 count. Up high, Nelson Sibo had a dunk underneath that. So the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss in the dirt, but Nelson's not going to decide to go over to first, so that's going to be a strikeout, and the side is retired. 1-2-3 go down the Mustangs. We have no score for the first inning. They're going to the top of the second. You're watching West Prairie Baseball against Juniata, exclusively on the West Prairie Athletic Parts YouTube page. We'll be right back. We are back here for the top of the second. For Juniata, they have 2 wins and 7 losses, and this is their 5th game against a Perry County team. They are currently 2-2 against all the teams from Perry County. They started this season with a 4-0 win against Susquehanna at home. Then their next game against a Perry County team was at Greenwood. And Juniata lost to the Wildcats in 5 innings, 13-3. Next, in the 8th game this is actually their 3rd straight game against Perry County team. Last Tuesday, they were at home against Newport, and they beat the Buffaloes 12-2 in 6 innings. And then just this past Saturday, they lost on the road at Susquehanna. 15-8 was the score of that one. 0-1 the count here to Chase White. He had 0-2 count. first thing. And here's a swing. Nice stop there for Johnny Clegg, and very nice play. And quick out number 1, Johnny Clegg diving out there for the ball. Johnny Clegg over at second base. Perfect throw over to Derek Snook. And there's one away here in the top of the second. Up next is Logan Keller, the center fielder for the Indians. And the first pitch is swung on and fouled back towards the parking lot here at West Prairie High School varsity baseball field. West Prairie Baseball will be right back in action here for their 5th straight home game. That will be tomorrow as they take on the Boiling Springs Bubblers. That game will start at 4:30. And the next 0-1 pitch to Logan Keller is in the dirt for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. One pitch from Seybold. It's up high for ball 2. So the first time that West Prairie's pitcher Nelson Siebold has been behind in the count. In fact, those first 2 balls were the first 2 balls of the game for him. He's thrown 10 consecutive strikes before those 2 balls. And here's a swing and a miss, but foul back, in fact. So the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. West Prairie currently 2-1 in his 5-game homestand, winning each of the last 2 games against Waynesboro and Bermudian Springs this past week. And here's the swing, and that gets fouled back, so the count will remain at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Very beautiful day here for West Prairie Baseball. The sun is shining. Fortunately, I forgot to put on my sunscreen, so I'm hoping that doesn't affect anything. Another swing and foul back, so count still at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Logan Keller, the Juniata center fielder. It's always nice to get a little bit of sun every now and then. Here's a swing, grounded to Aiden Russell at third, and a throw to Derek Snook is offline, so that's going to be ruled an E5. Logan Keller reaches first on an error from Aiden Russell. So a tough break there. That could have been a big out number 2, but instead it's an error. And now the number 6 hitter, Will Orwig, the third baseman for Juniata. Come here with a runner on first after the error. Nice lead off here for Logan Keller, and a throw over is not in time. That's one thing that we have seen West Prairie Baseball do so often this year, a throw over. Normally in baseball, in any level, but you see a baseball game, you see very long games when the batter keeps fouling off the ball. But in West Prairie's case, the games are longer because of throwovers, just like this one. West Prairie loves to throw over and keeps the runners on base. They rarely give up stolen bases this season. They almost did to Jacob Condo, but Condo got off a little early in the first inning, and he was caught stealing second. Here's the first pitch to Will Orwig, and swung on and fouled. Ball 1 the count. West Prairie looking for their first 3-game winning streak this season. They have won back-to-back games twice this season. The first time they did that was 2 wins against Big Spring at home in 5 innings, 11-1, and then they won their first away game of the year. And the next game at James Buchanan, the final score of that one was 7-2. Before losing the next 2 games to Camp Hill and Shippensburg, and now here they are winners of the last 2 games against Waynesboro and Vermilion Springs, and once again another throw over. I believe that's 4 throwovers and 1 pitch to Will Orwig, and is at bat. There's strike 2. Yeah, maybe you don't want to keep throwing over here, but you got one now. You can't afford to have another error and put that runner at second, because there you can lose the double play situation, and double play formation is on here for the West Prairie Mustangs. Nice lead off here. Here's an 0-2 pitch, a swing, and that's going to get fouled, just barely. Fouled down the third base line, so the count will remain at no balls and 2 strikes. That ball was well hit, ladies and gentlemen, from Will Orwig, the third baseman for the Indians. Dawson Sibo, the 0-2 pitch, swung on, fouled away. Still no balls and 2 strikes. And 0-2 pitch is just outside for a ball. Very nice waist pitch there from Nelson Seybold. So the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Throw over. Oh, that was close. That was a good leadoff there from Logan Keller. Good distance from him to the first base bag, but he was able to dive back in time. Runner on first here with 1 out here in the top of the second inning. No score to this point. 1-2 count to Will Orwig. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and whoa. Well, that was called strike 3. That ball was in the dirt, ladies and gentlemen. But that is called strike 3. A very big strike zone here from the home plate umpire, Myron Lebo. So that becomes the second out. Definitely a pitcher's pitch there. Down low. That was way down low. Call strike 3. And up next here is Paul Ames, the shortstop, and he looks at first pitch ball in the dirt, 1-0. And a very generous strike zone there from Myron Lebo, the home plate umpire. That last pitch was strike 3 in the dirt. I've never seen that before. A very generous strike zone there. And here's the swing, bouncer to third, Aiden Russell thrown over to first, and it's in time, and the side is retired. No runs or no hits, 1 error by the Mustangs in that inning, but we are going to the bottom of the second with no score. You're watching West Prairie Baseball exclusively on the West Prairie Athletic Parents YouTube page. We'll be right back for the bottom of the second. We are back here for the bottom of the second. No score here. West Perry went down 1-2-3 in the first. So 4, 5, and 6 hitters. And up next to lead off is Tanner Baker, the center fielder. Tanner Baker leading off in the bottom of the second. Bryce Smith will be on deck. And Aiden Russell will be batting third here in this order. And there is a call, strike one to the West Perry center fielder. Tanner Baker leading to get on base here. He had a couple of nice games. He had a big game against Waynesboro. And there is swing and a miss, strike two. For Tanner Baker, he scored twice against the Waynesboro Indians on Thursday. Tanner Baker looking at pitch inside, and it count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. A very nice pitch there from Josh Baumberger in his second inning of work. Looking for his third punch out. He had 2 strikeouts in the first inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Outside for ball 3, so it's a full count here. Full count to the first batter for the second straight inning. Tanner Baker looking to get on base here. West Perry looking for their first base runner, going 1-2-3 in the first. And here's a swing, round over to third, and throw over to first is in time. And that is how the bottom of the second gets underway. Nice play there from Will Orrick at third. Up next is Bryce Smith. He has been having a good offense here. Good bat here for Bryce Smith, the right fielder. He went 3 for 3 with 5 RBIs in the win against Bermudian Springs. And Bryce Smith looks at first pitch strike. Next pitch from Bomberger is swung on and lightly hit to third base. Orwick throwing over, and it's gonna get away, and Bryce Smith is gonna reach first. That's luckily gonna be ruled an E5. So West Perry gets their first base runner of the game. Bryce Smith reaching first on an error. Almost a big play from Will Warwick for the second straight play. But Bryce Smith is now on at first, off the error. And up next comes Aiden Russell, the third baseman for the Mustangs today. As Aiden Russell looks at first pitch ball, 1-0. Bryce Smith over at first. Step off here from Josh Baumberger. Baumberger and Bryce Smith is on his way to second, and it's not going to be close. And Bryce Smith goes to second on a stolen base. Pitch was a strike to Aiden Russell. So 1 ball and 1 strike here to Aiden Russell, the third baseman for the Mustangs. Now there's a runner in scoring position. And that ball hits Russell. Aiden Russell gets the first on a hit by pitch. And now there are runners at first and second with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Up next, the first baseman, Derek Snook, coming out to bat. Runners are first and second with 1 out. West Perry looking to crack the scoreboard for the first time. We are a scoreless game right now, and Derek Snook looks at first pitch ball, 1-0. Pitch to Snook, up high for ball 2. That last pitch from Aiden Russell looked like it was up high, but apparently it just tipped his elbow. So Aiden Russell at first, Bryce Smith at second, and showing signs of bunting, and the ball gets away from the catcher, and the runners are going to go over to second and third off the wild pitch. It's also ball 3, so 3-0 the count to West Prairie's first baseman, Derek Snook. Now 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. A base hit will definitely give West Prairie the lead. 3-0 count. We'll see if Derek Snook will want to take one more pitch. And he does, but it's called strike 1. Three balls and 1 strike here at Derek Snook. Gonna be an interesting decision here for Derek Snook to see if he wants to take another pitch, because he's got one more free pitch. And there it is, and that's ball 4. First walk of the game given up by Josh Baumberger for Juniata. And the bases are now loaded with 1 out. West Prairie had several opportunities with the bases loaded against Meridian Springs and capitalized on each of them. Up next is number 8 hitter, Noah Kittner. He is the left fielder, also the designated hitter for the Mustangs. A new role in the PIAA where you can have a position player also as a designated hitter, which means if at any time that Noah Kittner has to be taken out of left field, he can still be in the game as a designated hitter. That first pitch was a strike, and that is ball 1. 1-1 the count here to Noah Kittner. Nice scoop there from Seth Loeb, and there's ball 2. One thing you definitely do not want to do with the bases loaded if you're Josh Baumberger is to give up a walk, because that will score a run. 2-1 pitch coming from Bomberger. Here it is. That's called for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases are loaded with 1 out. A base hit will give them a 1-run lead, if not a 2-run lead. There's a swing and a miss, and that's a big out, number 2. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game already here for Josh Baumberger. And up next comes the number 9 hitter, Johnny Clegg, the second baseman for the Mustangs. And he's got the bases loaded here with 2 outs. And that ball almost got away. A nice pickup there from Bob. And that's going to be ball 1. That ball could easily got away. Could have been good, giving Bryce Smith from third an opportunity to score. Derek Snook at first, Aiden Russell at second, and Bryce Smith over at third. 1-0 pitch going to Johnny. Another big stop there from Long behind home plate. And the count is now 2 balls and no strikes. Strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 pitch, swing, and that's fouled. And now the count is at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Very big pitch here. This is one thing that West Prairie has done a couple times so far this season, including twice in the first 2 innings against Shippensburg in a 7-2 loss. He stranded the bases loaded twice without scoring any runs. Here's ball 3. Full count here to Johnny Clegg. All 3 runners will be on the move here with 2 outs. And a full count. Big pitch coming up here for Johnny Clegg. Josh Bomberger looking for perhaps strikeout number 4 or a ground ball. Here's the full count pitch, and that ends up hitting Johnny Clegg, and that's going to bring in a run. Big mistake there from Josh Baumberger, but the Mustangs are on the board. Bryce Smith going from third to home, and West Prairie takes a 1-0 lead, and the bases are still loaded with 2 outs. And we're going back to the top of the lineup here. Trent Herrera, the shortstop for the Mustangs, coming up to bat for the second time. He struck out looking on a full count pitch his first time up. First pitch to Herrera is in for call strike 1. West Prairie gets 1 run after the hit by pitch with the bases loaded on Johnny Clegg. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and it's popped up. And it's going to be interesting for the first baseman. He's got it. The wind's starting to push it back outside, but that will end the inning. West Prairie strands the bases loaded, but they score 1 after Johnny Clegg was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, and they are through 2 innings. West Prairie with a 1-0 lead. You're watching West Prairie baseball against Juniata, exclusively on the West Prairie Athletic Partners YouTube page. We'll be right back for the top of the 3rd inning. We are back here for the top of the 3rd inning. West Prairie getting a 1-0 lead after stranding the bases loaded, but the Mustangs have a 1-0 lead. 8-9-1 hitters here for the Juniata Indians, and the first pitch is to Ben Fry. And Ben Fry pops up and just gets out of play. It could have been a good opportunity for Josiah Twig, but the count is no balls and 1 strike. For Juniata, only 1 hit so far. They had 2 base runners after Logan Keller in the second inning reached first on error, but nothing doing after it. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Nelson Seybold, and a nice low breaking ball to Ben Fry, the Juniata Indians right fielder. And a count very quickly here, no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 pitch down low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Not about waste pitch there, good breaking ball there by Dawson Harper. For Juniata Indians, are off to a slow start with 2 wins and 7 losses. Both wins coming off against Susquehanna and the Newport Buffaloes. So for Juniata Indians, they are 2-2 so far this season against teams from Perry County. That last pitch was fouled away. Juniata, their 2 wins. Their first one was on opening day at home against the Susquehanna Blackhawks. The final score of that one was 4-0. And then just recently, just 2 games ago, Bryce Harrison, big fly ball over here to right field, and the right fielder for West Perry, that's Bryce Smith, getting the grab, and there is very quickly 1 out. So 1 out here to start the top of the third. Juniata, they've had some pretty good teams so far. Not too long ago in 2017, Juniata actually won the Tri-Valley League Championship. Last year, Lion Mountain 2 years ago in 2019, the Lion Mountain baseball squad won the championship. This is Matt McWilliams, the designated hitter for the Juniata Indians. He swung at the first pitch and fouled it back, so 0-1 the count. Seybold, next pitch, also swung on line straight back. Some fans over there had to duck under that ball. But the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Looks like everyone is okay over there. Nice turnout of fans here for the West Prairie Mustangs. Not seeing a lot of Juniata fans. There's a ball, a good waist pitch, a high fastball there for Sibo. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looks like Juniata has a pitcher warming up in the bullpen. Who knows how long Josh Baumberger can keep going. Despite only giving up 1 run. That was ball 2 to the Juniata designated hitter. Pitch, a swing and a miss from McWilliams, and that's out number 2. Bottom of the lineup, not doing much. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Nelson Seybold. And we are going back to the top of the lineup here. Here's Dawson Harper. He struck out swinging on 3 pitches to lead off the game in the top of the 1st. Here he is, but nobody on and 2 outs. And he swings at the first pitch, and that's got to get out to center field for a base hit. Big throw in here from Tanner Baker. So another 2-out runner. That's the 2nd time in this game that Juniata has had a runner reach base with 2 outs. Dawson Harper with a 2-out single. That's the 2nd hit of the game for Juniata. And up next is the number 2 hitter, Josh Baumberger, the starting pitcher for Juniata. He grounded out to Aiden Russell at 3rd base his first time up. And he swings at the first pitch. And that's got to get down to center field for a base hit. Back-to-back base hits for the Indians on back-to-back pitches. Trouble here, Juniata looking to get a runner to score. Looking to get a runner from 2nd to go home. First time in this game that Juniata has a runner in scoring position. And up next is Jacob Condo. He is 1 for 1 so far. He had a base hit with 2 outs. Later caught trying to steal 2nd in the 1st inning. So 1 for 1 for Jacob Condo, the Juniata left fielder, and he swings at the first pitch as well, and that goes foul back. A lot of first pitch swinging here for the Juniata Indians. Going in the last 2 at-bats. First pitch, a base hit for Dawson Harper and Josh Baumberger. Step off here for Nelson Seybold and no throw. Just try to keep the runners at first and second, and where they are. 0-1 pitch to Jacob Condo is inside for a ball, one strike. Big opportunity here for Juniata, down by 1 run in the top of the 3rd inning. 2 strikes with 2 outs, and there's a foul ball. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Looked like West Prairie was on their way to a very quick inning. Start up with a fly ball to right field and then a strikeout swinging. But back-to-back pitches, 2 straight singles. And now 1-2 pitch coming from Nelson Sibo to Jacob Condo. Step off. After tomorrow, the West Prairie Mustangs will be on the road for 5 straight games. I guess that's what happens when you have 5 straight home games. Then you got a 5-game road trip immediately after that. And a swing and right down, almost a big grab from Nelson C, but that gets out to center field. Big throw here from Tanner Baker, and it's not going to be in time. And now the ball gets away, and thrower to third is not in time. That's got to be ruled an RBI single. And it's an RBI single for Jacob Condo. Dawson Harper goes over from second to score. And Josh Baumberger advances to third on that throw. And now we're going to have a timeout here from head coach Jeff Stano. That base hit, three straight singles from the Indians with 2 outs in the inning, and now we are tied at 1-1. West Prairie head coach Jeff Stano, now in his 21st season as the head coach for the West Prairie Mustangs. Currently have 5 wins and 5 losses through 10 games. Halfway through the 2021 season. Up next here is Chase White, the first baseman. He grounded out to second in his first at-bat, so make him 0 for 1 so far. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. And here's a swing, and that's going to get down out to left field for a base hit. 1 run is going to come across the score, and a second one go around the score, and Juniata is in business here. 4 straight base hits with 4 outs, and it's now a 3-1 lead for Juniata. So 3-1 is the score for Juniata. Up next is Logan Keller. He reached first on an error in his first time. And 1-0 count here to Logan Keller, the center fielder, with a run around first with 2 outs. 4 straight singles for Juniata on 2 outs. On a big 2-out rally here for the Indians, and they take a 3-1 lead. And timeout call. Home plate umpire here, Byron Lebo, the home plate umpire for today's game. Brian Rom is calling the bases here. And that's strike 1. Juniata having a big inning here. 4 straight base hits on 2 outs. And now have a 3-1 lead. And that's ball 2. Surprise, West Perry doesn't have anybody warmed up in the bullpen right now. That pitch count has to be getting up there right now. 3 strikeouts so far in this game for Nelson Siebold. But here, 4 straight hits with 3 runs scored. And there's a swing and it's fouled back. So the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Juniata first baseman Chase White. Or excuse me, Logan Keller. Center fielder for Juniata. Next pitch, swing and a miss, and finally the side is retired. But not before Juniata gets 4 straight singles. Juniata scoring 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, leaving 1 runner on base. And we're going to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Juniata now has a 3-1 lead. You are watching West Prairie Baseball against Juniata Indians, exclusively on the West Prairie Athletic Park's YouTube page. We'll be right back. We are back here for the bottom of the 3rd inning. West Prairie Mustangs, 2, 3, and 4 hitters stood up. West Prairie still looking for their first base hit in the game. They have 1 run on no hits. They stranded the bases loaded in the top of the 2nd. And here is Josiah Twig, the West Prairie catcher, as he looks at first pitch ball. Strike 1 to Josiah Twig. Next pitch is up high for a ball. Apparently we have a new pitcher here for Juniata. This is Will Orwick now on the mound, who was at 3rd base, but now pitching on the mound for Juniata. So Will Orwick coming in the 3rd inning. Here is ball 3 to Josiah Twig. 3 balls and 1 strike here to Josiah Twig to lead off the bottom of third, and there's ball 4. So Josiah Twig reaches first on the wall. West Prairie still looking for their first hit of the game, but this is a big start, down by 2. Up next is Nelson Sibo. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat back in the first. And so inside some bunt here is Nelson Seybold, and Orwig's got it. Now that's a good sacrifice bunt there. Josiah Twig going over to the second. That's not necessarily a bad decision there from Nelson Siebold. And up next is the center fielder, Tanner Baker. He grounded out to third base in his first at-bat, so he's 0 for 1. But he's got Josiah Twig over at second with 1 out. Here's the first pitch from Orwig, and that looked to be inside, but it's called strike 1. Myron Lebo, the home plate umpire for today's game, has some very generous calls here so far in this game for both sides. That one looked to be the case, looked to be high and inside, but here's a throw up. No throw actually. Good step off there. Nelson Steve, but Josiah Twig able to get back in there in time. And that almost gets Tanner Baker, but it's outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to the West Prairie center fielder. One thing that West Prairie has struggled so far this season, leaving runners in scoring position. In the second inning, they stranded the bases loaded. Despite scoring 1 run, and here's the base hit going over to shortstop, and that actually gets away, but some big trouble there for Josiah Twig. And now here's the play over at second, and it's not in time, so Josiah Twig gets ruled out at third. A big mistake there, Josiah Twig going a little too far over the bag, and so he's called out. He becomes second now. So rule that a fielder's choice, and Tanner Baker going over to second, so fielder's choice. So our runner is still at second base this time with 2 outs. And up next is Bryce Smith. He reached first base on an error and later came around to score. He's the only run of the game so far for West Prairie. And he looked at first pitch strike from Will Orwig. And there's ball 1 to the West Prairie right fielder. I don't know what Josiah Twig was thinking when he was rounding third base, because that ball was snagged there by the shortstop. There's ball 2. West Prairie in danger of once again stranding a runner in scoring position. And there's ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike to count to Bryce Smith. West Prairie still looking for their first hit of the game. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. West Prairie down by 2. Three 3-1 pitch in there for call strike 2. So full count here. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs, and Tanner Baker over at second. Full count pitch, and it hits Bryce Smith. So Bryce Smith going to first on a hit by pitch with 2 outs. And up next is Aiden Russell. And Russell reached first base after being hit by a pitch with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. And here he's got runners at first and second with 2 outs. West Prairie looking to cut the deficit. 3-1 is the score as of right now for Juniata. First pitch to Aiden Russell is in for a call, strike 1. Pitch, swing, as well as going out to left field. And that's going to get over the left fielder's head. 1 run's going to come across the score. Here comes the runner, second runner rounding third. And the throw is not in time. It's a 2-run double for Aiden Russell. And just like that, we are tied at 3-3. That ball was crushed, ladies and gentlemen. A 2-run double here. That's the first hit of the game for the Mustangs. It comes off the bat of Aiden Russell. Great to see him back in action. So Aiden Russell at second, and here's the first pitch swinging from Derek Snook. Ground over to third, a high jump is in time, and the side is retired. Derek Snook going down 1 pitch, but that was after a 2-run double from Aiden Russell with 2 outs, and we are going into the 4th inning, tied at 3-3. You are watching West Prairie Baseball against Juniata, exclusively on the West Prairie Athletics Bars YouTube page. We'll be right back for the top of the 4th inning. So we are back here for the top of the 4th inning. Juniata scored 3 runs in the 3rd inning on 4 base hits. But West Prairie getting 2 runs back, and here comes the number 6 hitter, Will Ulrich, who is now the pitcher for Juniata. He looks at first pitch ball from Nelson Sibo, now in his 4th inning of work on the mound. Seybold, 1-0 pitch, check swing, but he went around, but it's called strike 1 anyway. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 pitch coming from Nelson Siebold, and swung on and fouled away, so the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Will Ulrich, the new pitcher for Juniata, he came into the 3rd and gave up 2 runs already on 1 base hit, leaving 1 runner at 2nd. That was Aiden Russell. Surprised that for Juniata, however, they pulled Josh Bomberger out so quickly. He only had 2 innings. He only faced 10 batters. And that ball was swinged, but not hung on there by Josiah Twigg, so the count remained at 1 ball and 2 strikes. The line for Josh Baumberger, the starting pitcher for Juniata, 2 innings, only facing 10 hitters, 10 batters. He had 3 strikeouts, gave up 1 walk, no hits, and 0 earned runs. big gust of wind blowing over here. We're going to see that time and time again in this game. So 1-2 pitch coming to Will Orwick, a new pitcher for Juniata. Here's the 1-2 pitch, down low in the dirt, so count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The West Prairie Mustangs looking for their first three-game winning streak of the season. They have won back-to-back games twice so far this season. And there's called strike 3. Will Orwick is set down on strikes. That is how the 4th inning gets underway. Will Orwick now 0 for 2. She's struck out looking twice now in this game. Up next is Paul Ames, the shortstop for Juniata. He takes a big swing and a miss. 0-1 the count. Paul Ames 0 for 1 so far. He grounded out to Aiden Russell at third base his first time up. His last at bat ended the 2nd inning. And here's a swing, and that's going to get out of play. The count goes to no balls and 2 strikes now. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the next pitch from Nelson Seybold. A swing and a miss. That's 3 straight strikeouts now for Nelson Sibo. And there are 2 away now here in the inning. Now you got to be careful here. As in the 3rd inning, West Prairie had 2 very quick outs to start the inning. Then that followed up with 4 straight base hits that scored 3 runs for the Indians. Let's see if Juniata can have a big rally here for the 2nd straight inning. This is Ben Fry. He's 0 for 1 so far. He flew out to right field in the 3rd inning to start. And he swings at this point and foul back. 0-1 the count to Ben Fry. Ben Fry looking for the 0-1 pitch. And it's in the dirt. A good pickup there by Josiah Twig. The count now to 1 strike. We are tied at 3-3 here in the top of the 4th inning. Here's a swing over here to shortstop Trent Herrera, throwing to first. It is not in time. That's going to be ruined an infield single for Ben Fry. He took off from the batter's box and he took off very quick. So an infield single here. Once again, this is the rally I was talking about. Number 2 out base hit. And up next here is Matt McWilliams, the designated hitter. Or are we about to see a pinch hitter here for Matt McWilliams? McWilliams struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. So it looks like we are going to have a change here. We're going to have maybe a pinch runner here for Ben Fry. Juniata head coach, talking with the home plate umpire, Myron Lebo. So a timeout here, 2 outs with runner on first now. The go-ahead run is at first base. We are tied at 3-3 here in the top of the 4th inning. Long conference call here for Juniata and the home plate umpire. So this is a pinch hitter here coming up here. This is Logan Pennebaker pinch hitting here for Matt Williams in a designated hitter spot. Baker bringing up here with 2 outs. And that is ball 1. Logan Baumberger, the pinch hitter here. We have a runner on first and 2 outs. Quick throw over to first, and Ben Fry is able to get back in time. No pitch, gone for Nelson Siebold. Here it is. That's in the dirt, and that gets away from Josiah Twig. And Ben Fry has got to go over to second on a wild pitch. That's the first, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that's the first wild pitch that we have seen here at home from a West Perry pitcher. It's unbelievable that West Perry does not give up wild pitches that often. That's the first one here at home this season. So runner second now, 2-0 count. Here it is. And it's grounded here, and Johnny Clegg has it, and throw over to first is thrown away, and Juniata is going to take the lead. It was a tough play there from Johnny Clegg, but that's going to be rolled at E4. And because of it, Ben Fry comes around to score from third. And so Juniata now has a 4-3 lead here in the top of the 4th. We are now back to the top of the lineup. Dawson Harper now here with runner on first with 2 outs. Juniata Indians with a 4-3 lead. Throw over here trying to get Baumberger. Not in time. Back and forth game here for West Perry and Juniata. Here's the first pitch to Dawson Harper, and swung on and fouled back. Dawson Harper 1 for 2 so far. He struck out swinging on 3 pitches in the first inning, and then there followed that up with a single on the first pitch he saw in the 3rd inning, and later came around to score for Juniata's first run of the game. Here he's got running first with a 4-3 lead and 2 outs. There's a swing, and that's going to be fouled back, so the count quickly goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Coming up here from Nelson Seybold, no balls and 2 strikes. And runner goes over to second, and throw is going to be in time, and no, it's a stolen base from Logan Keller. That's the first stolen base here for Juniata in this game. And that last pitch was obviously a ball. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. We have 2 outs here. Once again, Juniata with another 2-out rally. Here's a 1-2 pitch, swing, and it's going to get grounded here by Johnny Clegg. A throw to first is in time, and the side is retired. Juniata scores 1 run off an error from Johnny Clegg, but he pays up for it with that inning-ending double play. Juniata takes a 4-3 lead. We are going to the bottom of the 4th. West Perry coming up to bat. You are watching West Perry Baseball against Juniata exclusively on the West Perry Athletic Partners YouTube page. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 4th. West Perry down by 1. we are back here for the bottom of the fourth inning. It's a back and forth game here for West Prairie versus Juniata. And the first batter here, 8-9-1 here, is coming up here for the Mustangs. And this is Noah Kittner, the left fielder, as also a designated hitter. And he looks at first pitch strike. And so it's not a bunt. There is Kittner, but he goes around and misses. So the count is now no balls and 2 strikes. Noah Kittner definitely has that speed, ladies and gentlemen. Once he gets the ball in play, if you have a ground ball, you better throw it over there very quick. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And in for a call, strike 3. That is the first out of the inning. The second time Noah Kittner has gone down on strikes. Make him 0 for 2 so far. Up next is Johnny Clegg. No official at-bat for him so far. He was hit by a pitch back in the second inning with the bases loaded. So we'll see if Johnny Clegg can put a ball in play here. And the first pitch to Johnny is up high and is called for strike 1. Oh, here's a big rip here for Johnny Clegg out to left field, and that's got to get down for a base hit. Johnny Clegg going to second. He's got that speed, ladies and gentlemen, and Johnny Clegg has a 1-out double. That's only the second base hit for West Prairie in this game. And Johnny Clegg, the second double of this game, both base hits have been doubles. The first one was from Aiden Russell in the third inning. That tied the game up at 3-3 at the time. And up next, we are back to the top of the lineup, and here's Trent Herrera. He looks at first pitch ball. Johnny Clegg at second. Trent Herrera is 0 for 2 so far in this game. He struck out looking to start the ball game, and then he popped out to first base, but the bases loaded to end the second inning. Base hit could tie this game up, and there's ball 2 to the West Prairie shortstop. Throw over to second. No throw, in fact. Johnny Clegg staying put there at second. A base hit with Johnny Clegg's speed will most likely tie the game up with a base hit. So that's a bunt, and posted back is Trent Herrera, and he posted back for ball 3. 3-0 the count. Josiah Twig is on deck for the Mustangs. For his second inning, and that's ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Trenton Herrera. And now there are runners at first and second with 1 out. Up next is the number 2 hitter, the catcher, Josiah Twig. 0 for 1 so far. 0 for 1, he grounded out to second base in the first inning and then later walked in the third. First pitch to hit is ball 1. 5 straight balls here given up from Will Warwick. Runners at first and second with 1 out for the Mustangs. So inside a bunt is Twig, and he pulls it back for ball 2. 6 straight balls here for Will Warwick. That's one thing about West Prairie focuses on in pressure situations. When they're down in the scoreboard like this, they're down by 1 run. They do not swing until they get a strike. And here is ball 3. That's strike one. Finally snaps a streak of 7 straight balls. Still a 3-1 count, and there is strike 2. So good job here for Will Orwick to go from 3-0 to now full count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. A big pitch coming up here to Josiah Twig, looking to walk for the second time in this game. Here's a full count pitch, a swing and a miss. Handled there by the catcher, foul tip into the catcher's glove, and that is the second out of the inning. A big out there for the Juniata Indians. And up next is Nelson Seybold, 0 for 1 so far. He laid down a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd inning. He struck out swinging in the 1st. Nelson Seybold, the West Prairie pitcher, looks at a ball up high for ball 1. Base hit with Johnny Clegg at second could likely produce a run. Next pitch, in there for called strike. 1-1 the count. Johnny Clegg at second. Trenton Herrera at first with 2 outs. Nelson Seybold, one thing that we have seen from Nelson Seybold throughout the season, he knows how to do well in high pressure situations, especially when it comes to runners in scoring position. And here's a swing and a ground out to shortstop, going over to 3rd, and that will end the inning. Throw over to 3rd on the 4th out. And the side is retired. West Prairie once again stranding a runner in scoring position. We are going very quickly into the 5th inning with Juniata Indians up by 1 run. 4-3 is the score. We'll be right back for the top of the 5th inning. You're watching West Prairie Baseball against Juniata, exclusively on the West Prairie Athletic Partners YouTube page. We'll be right back. We are back here for the top of the 5th inning. This game has been flying along, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost 4 minutes to 6 o'clock here. This game started at 4:30, but very quickly we are here in the 5th inning. Juniata has a 4-3 lead. West Prairie failed to score with a runner in scoring position once again in the 4th inning. And here is Josh Bomberger looking at our first pitch strike from Nelson Seybold. Nelson Seybold still out there on the mound. Give up only 3 earned runs. And there's ball 1. 1-1 is in there for call strike 2. Josh Baumberger, 1 for 2 so far. He ran out to third base in the first inning and later followed up with a base hit in the third inning. And there came around to score. That's ball 2. West Prairie having a busy schedule this week. They'll be back at home right here tomorrow with a matchup against the Bowling Springs Bumblers. That's got to be tough for West Prairie. Then they have back-to-back games on the road on Thursday and Friday. Excuse me, no game on Friday. And that is ball 3 to Josh Bomberger. So full count to the leadoff hitter here in the top of the 5th. Juniata has not had a base runner to lead off the game, to lead off any inning, and that ball was well fouled. And the count is still full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. A couple of Juniata fans making a long trip here. A local rivalry, West Prairie versus Juniata. This is West Prairie's first time since 2013 facing Juniata. And there's a line drive to left field. Noah Kittner not finding the ball very well. And this is going to be extra bases here for Josh Baumberger, a leadoff double. So a leadoff double for Josh Baumberger. That's his second hit of the game. That's the first time for Juniata to have a leadoff to get the first batter on base to lead off the inning. And it comes here in the 5th inning with a leadoff double. Up next is Jacob Condo. He's 2 for 2 so far with 2 singles, including an RBI single in the 3rd. Josh Baumberger forced back to second. Looking too good here for the Mustangs, but they're only down by 1 run. If they can escape this inning, and throw to second, and wait a minute, is this good? Oh, picked off! Oh, that was very close, but good pickup by Johnny Clegg, and Josh Baumberger is picked off at second, and that's the first out. That is huge for the Mustangs. So now they can focus on Jacob Condo, 2 for 2 so far. There's a swing from Condo going over here to right field. And nice catch. Oh, what a big catch there from Bryce Smith. A very long run there for Bryce Smith, and he gets just in front of the fence, and that becomes out number 2. So 2 outs here. And up next is Chase White. 1 for 2 so far. He had a 2-run single in the 3rd inning to give Juniata a 3-1 lead back in the 3rd inning. And he swings at the first pitch, and that's going to go foul with 1 to count. A very nice thing, despite a leadoff double here for Juniata. But pick off here at second. A big call there from Brian Ron, the bases umpire. He said to throw over to Johnny Clegg at second. Got Baumberger at second. Here's the rope bouncer here to first. And Derek Snook makes the play, and that ends the inning. 3 unassisted to put out. And despite a leadoff double, Juniata gets nothing here at the top of the 5th. West Prairie coming up to bat in the bottom 5th, still down by 1 run. You're watching West Prairie baseball against Juniata Indians exclusively on the West Prairie Athletic Parents YouTube page. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 5th. West Prairie down by 1. We are back here for the bottom of the 5th inning. West Perry down 3-4. Juniata had a leadoff double in the top of the 5th inning, but then a pickoff attempt, a big fly out to right field, and then a bouncer to first base. So 1-2-3 inning, ironically, for West Perry in the top of the 5th. And here is Tanner Baker. 0-1 the count here for Tanner Baker to start off the bottom of the 5th. Tanner Baker 0 for 1 0 for 2 so far. He had a fierce choice, and here's a base hit. First base hit of the game for Tanner Baker. And that's a leadoff base runner for the Mustangs. A nice base hit right up the middle. That's the first leadoff base hit for the Mustangs in this game. So Tanner Baker at first. Up next is Bryce Smith. He has scored twice so far, but he's 0 for 1. Reached first on error in the 2nd inning, and was later hit by a pitch on a full count in the 3rd inning. And he looks at first pitch strike. Tanner Baker, the tying run at first base. Oh, a big lead. Big lead there for Tanner Baker, and the bunt gets down, and throw at first. It's got to be in time, so sacrifice bunt for Bryce Smith. I don't know if that's the part that you want to be sacrificing here. But Tanner Baker goes over to second now with 1 out. Up next is Aiden Russell. He had a 2-run double in his last at-bat back in the 3rd inning to tie the game up at 3-3. Here down by 1 with a runner at second. Base hit to tie this game up at 4. First pitch to Aiden Russell is up high for ball 1. And Russell, the 3rd baseman today. He is 1 for 1. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning, followed out of a 2-run double in the 3rd. And that ball hits Aiden. Stick in time, but Aiden Russell has been hit by a pitch. So now runners are first and second with 1 out. And up next is Derek Snook. 0 for 1 so far. He walked in the 2nd inning. Later grounded out on 1 pitch to 3rd base in the 3rd inning. Derek Snook had the inning-ending play in the top of the 5th, so we'll see if a base hit could play that runner in. And Derek Snook, the first baseman, looks at first pitch strike. One pitch, slow breaking ball, outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Juniata looking for their 3rd win against a Perry County rival. There's a big swing, and that's got to get foul. 1-2 to count to Derek Snook. We want to thank everyone at home for joining us here on the West Perry Athletic Parks YouTube page. My name is Alex Wall, bringing a live commentary for this exciting non-conference action matchup where West Perry taking on the Juniata Indians. Juniata currently up 4-3 here in the bottom of the 5th, but West Perry threatening here with runners at first and second with 1 out, and that ball gets away, and that both runners will advance to 2nd and 3rd off the wild pitch. So the count now goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now you got runners, 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out. This has been a struggle for West Perry so far in this game. They stranded the bases loaded in the 2nd inning, and then they stranded a runner at second. And the last thing here is a pop out here, and that is going to go foul. So the count will remain at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A ball in the outfield could give West Perry the lead. or base hit would likely give him a lead, but sacrifice fly wouldn't be so bad here. That would tie the game at 4-4. So 2-2 pitch coming here from Will Orwig, and it's up high for ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Derek Snook. He walked in the second inning. Could he possibly walk again here to make the bases loaded of Mustangs? Here comes the payoff pitch from Orwig, and swing and just fouled at the line, and that's going to be a foul ball. Full count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. That was a big swing, just barely tipped by the bat of Derek Snook. Runners in second and third with 1 out. A full count pitch once again from Orwig. And swing, and once again, that's got to go foul. Big battle brewing here for Derek Snook against Will Orwig. Now in his 3rd inning of work. Coming in for the starting pitcher, Josh Baumberger, who only threw for 2 innings on the mound for Juniata. Full count pitch up high for ball 4. So the bases are juiced with Mustangs. We'll see if West Perry can capitalize on this situation. In the second inning, they had the bases loaded, but only capitalized for 1 run, and they stranded the bases loaded in the second inning. Up next is Noah Kittner, the left fielder and designated hitter for the Mustangs. He has struck out twice in this game. He is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Bases are loaded with 1 out. Mustangs down by 1. So it's a bunt, and that's fouled. A couple West Perry fans not happy with that call, with Noah Kittner looking to bunt around, possibly looking for a suicide squeeze. The fans here want Noah Kittner to swing that bat. If that ball goes out to the outfield, that's either a base hit or a sacrifice fly, most likely. 0-1 pitch, once again showing signs of bunt. It's held back, and it's up high for ball 1. One thing that we have seen all season long, ladies and gentlemen, is West Perry getting situations like this. They did very good against Bermudian Springs with the bases loaded, but before that, West Perry not capitalizing with the base loaded. That bunt gets down. A throw to the plate is not in time. It's a suicide squeeze, and it's a base hit for Noah Kittner. And now we are tied at 4-4. That bunt played perfectly for Noah Kittner. Tanner Baker reaching home plate on a suicide squeeze. That's one thing that West Perry practices on a lot, the suicide squeeze situation with the bases loaded, or even just a runner on third. But now here comes the number 9 hitter, Johnny Clegg. He is 1 for 1 so far. He was hit by a pitch in the second inning on a full count, and he followed out up with a 1-out double in the 4th inning. See Johnny Clegg, a base hit will give West Perry the lead. Bases loaded with 1 out, and that ball is swung on and fouled. Got away from the catcher, but home plate umpire Byron Siebo saying that ball was tipped. We are tied at 4-4 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bases are loaded. A base hit or a ball to the outfield could give West Perry the lead. For the first time, West Perry hasn't had the lead since the 2nd inning when they were up 1-0. That ball was swung on and fouled back. No balls and 2 strikes here to Johnny Clegg. Trenton Herrera at the top of the lineup is on deck should he get a chance to play here. A ground ball could be huge for Juniata with 1 out. strike, waiting for the 0-2 pitch from Will Orrig. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and foul tip into the catcher's glove, and that is a big out number 2. So back to the top of the lineup here. The 7th batter of the inning for the Mustangs. As Trenton Herrera comes up. He is 0 for 2. He walked on 4 pitches his last time, but he's not going to do that this time as he looks at first pitch strike, 0-1. Bases are still loaded with 2 outs. West Perry tying the game at 4-4 on a suicide squeeze base hit from Noah Kittner. And there is ball 1 to the West Perry shortstop. West Perry head coach Jeff Sano over at third baseline, telling Trent to find the gap here. And that is strike 2. His West Perry got stranded the bases loaded for the 2nd time in this game. They have scored 1 here. A phenomenal play from Noah Kittner to get the suicide squeeze bunt. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Orwig. And a nice hang in there for Juniata. Step off at the catcher position. That is ball 2. We are even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We have 2 outs and the bases loaded for the West Perry Mustangs. 2-2 pitch from Orwig. Swing, line drive. It's got to get stopped out there to shortstop. And throw to first is in time. And the side is retired. A big play there from the Juniata shortstop. And for the 2nd time in this game, the West Perry Mustangs strand the bases loaded. But they score 1 on an infield single on a suicide squeeze from Noah Kittner. And so, after 5 innings, we are tied at 4-4. Juniata coming up to bat in the top of the 6th. You're watching West Perry baseball against Juniata Indians exclusively on the West Perry Athletic Department's YouTube page. We'll be right back for the top of the 6th. We are back here for the top of the 6th inning. Juniata going down 1-2 despite having a leadoff single in the 5th inning, but the runner Josh Baumberger later picked off and now followed up with 2 straight outs. So technically a 1-2 inning. And Dawson Seybold still on the mound here, and Logan Keller looks at first pitch ball in the dirt. West Perry tying the game up in the bottom of the 5th inning. But once again for West Perry, stranding the bases loaded for the second time in this game. Here's a rip here, and Derek Snook gets past him, but throw it to first is in time. Oh, wow, nice play for Tony Clegg to find a way to get behind Derek Snook and find Nelson Siebold. So make that a 4-1 put out. And that's the first out. Yeah, so for West Perry, up next here is Will Orwig, the new pitcher for Juniata. He's 0 for 2 so far with 2 strikeouts. Struck out looking twice in this game is Will Orwig. He looks at first pitch strike from Nelson Seybold. West Perry looking pretty good despite having a rough third inning, giving up 4 straight base hits that produced 3 runs for the Indians, and giving up 1 more run on an error in the 4th. And here's a rip right to left field, and that's got to get down for a base hit. It falls in front of Noah Kittner, and that's a 1-out base hit. That's the first base hit of the game for Will Orwig, and it comes with 1 out. So that's what I was saying. West Perry up next is Paul Ames, the Juniata shortstop. He had the big play to end the 5th inning for West Perry to strand the bases loaded for the second time. That's one thing that we have seen a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, yeah, West Perry's scored 1 run at least in both of those bases loaded situations, but it should be scoring for a lot more than that. All this season, West Perry has been stranding the bases loaded a lot, numerous times this season, which makes you wonder how in the world can West Perry expect to win if they keep stranding the bases loaded like they are. Pinch runner here in the first is Corey Fordwall, number 88 for them Juniata Indians, and he's able to get back in time. Paul Ames 0 for 2 so far. He grounded out to third in the 2nd inning and struck out swinging on 3 pitches in the 4th. He's got a runner at first here with 1 out. And once again, low ball in the dirt, but that's called for strike 1. A very big strike zone for the home plate umpire, Myron Label, giving a couple curiosity calls here. Very generous calls, I should say, for both pitchers. And here's a swing, that's got to get foul. So the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes to Paul Ames, the Juniata shortstop. We are tied at 4-4 here in the top of the 6th inning. 0-2 pitch. Oh, a good pitch to lay off there for Paul Ames, but it's outside for ball 1. Very nice base pitch there from Nelson Seybold. It's having a pretty good game so far. He only gave up 3 earned runs, despite a 4-4 tie here in the 6th inning. And once again, a low strike 3. That ball was down low, ladies and gentlemen, but it's a called 3rd strike. Paul Ames can't believe it. So now there are 2 outs here with a bottom river runner on first. Up next is Ben Fry. He is 1 for 2 so far. He flew out to right field in the 3rd inning and followed that up with an infield single in the 4th, and later came around to score on an error. He swings out the first pitch. Ben Fry over to center field. A dive by Tanner Baker is no good. That's going to be ruled a base hit. Runner's going to go all the way from first to 3rd. And trouble brewing here. Runners at first and 3rd here with 2 outs. Not a bad effort there by Tanner Baker. Dive for that. But it goes down. Will Worry, that could have been dangerous. Will Worry, I don't think he knew that there were 2 outs. If he knew, he could have came from first and scored. But here comes Jeff Sano once again, the head coach from West Perry, going out to talk to his infield. Because this has been something that Juniata has done throughout this game today. Big 2-out rallies. especially their biggest one being in the third inning, when they had two very quick outs to start the top of the third, but then 4 straight singles from the top of the lineup, scoring 3 runs, and that gave Juniata a lead. But here comes the number 9 hitter, Logan Keller. Logan Bomberger reached first on error in the 4th, but later got Ben Fry to score. So Logan Bomberger up for a second at bat. He's got runners at first and third with 2 outs. And there's ball 1. West Prairie defense cheering on Nelson Siebold, looking to put a 0 in this inning on the scoreboard. There's a swing, and that's got to go foul, so I count even at 1 ball and 1 strike to Logan Bomberger. The number 9 hitter for Juniata. 1-1 account with 2 outs and runners on first and third. Goes a 1-1 pitch swing, and that's a line drive, but that's got to get foul. So big pitch coming up here from Nelson Seybold. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch from Nelson Seybold. Here it is. Called strike 3. And the side is retired. A huge pitch for Nelson Seybold, and it retires the side. Juniata, for the first time in this game, strains a runner in scoring position. We are heading into the bottom of the 6th inning, still tied at 4-4. You're watching West Prairie Baseball against Juniata Indians exclusively on the West Prairie Athletic Powers YouTube page. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 6th inning. We are back here for the bottom of the 6th inning. We are tied at 4-4. West Prairie has not had the lead since being up 1-0 in this after 2 innings. And we got 2, 3, and 4 hitters queued up for the 2nd straight inning. And Josiah Twig will lay it off. He looks at first pitch strike. Will Orwig still on the mound for Juniata for his 4th inning of work. Bryce Smith is now in the West Prairie bullpen warming up. And next pitch to Josiah Twig is a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. There's strike 2. Very interesting to see Bryce Smith warming up here in the bullpen, because later in this inning, if any one of the next 3 batters gets on base, then Bryce Smith will have to hit, unless if they have a pinch hitter in mind. Count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Josiah Twig, 0 for 2 so far in this game. He struck out swinging his last time up in the 4th inning. He walked into 3rd, and here's a fly ball out to center field, and that's caught. That's the first out. You're due for a very exciting phase here, ladies and gentlemen. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. We are tied at 4-4. Up next is Nelson Seybold, the starting pitcher for the Mustangs. 0 for 2 so far. He laid down a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd. And he grounded to a fielder's choice to end the 4th inning. He struck out swinging in the 1st. And Nelson Seybold looks at a first pitch strike. So it's signs a bunt. The bunt goes down. Now Seybold looking to get on base, and he does. Great speed there by Nelson Sibo. It's an infield single. And yet, there's your go-ahead run. Now Bryce Smith realizes that he's probably got to go up to bat as long as Tanner Baker doesn't round into a double play right here. Tanner Baker, he has scored twice in this game so far. 1 for 3. He had a leadoff single in the 5th inning. Now Nelson Siebold at first, and that hits Tanner Baker. So now the go-ahead run goes into scoring position. And up next here is Bryce Smith, but first we're going to have a timeout here by Juniata. Could we possibly be seeing a pitching change here? For Juniata taking the ball away from Will Warwick. So Will Warwick, it looks like he's got to go over to 3rd base. And so we have a pitching change here for the Juniata Indians. We'll let you know who it is coming up after this. We'll be right back. We're right back here after a pitching change. Paul Ames is now the pitcher for Juniata. He comes in with runners at 1st and 2nd, but 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Paul Ames' first pitch to Bryce Smith is in the dirt for ball 1. Coming in for Will Warwick, who is now over at 3rd base. And he had 3.1 innings, 3 1/3 innings on the mound. And showing signs of bunt there is Bryce Smith. He pulls it back, but it's called strike 1. For those who are just joining us, we are tied at 4-4 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. There's ball 2. Ball 2 to Bryce Smith. The go-ahead run is at second. Now it's Nelson Sibo over at second. Tanner Baker over at first. There's a big swing there from Bryce Smith, but that's going to go foul back. 2 balls and 2 strikes now at the count. Ames, now the pitcher for Juniata. His first batter is Bryce Smith. And that's down low for ball 3. We have seen that location call for strikes before, but now it's a full count with 1 out and runners on first and second. Big pitch coming up here from Paul Ames. Here's the full count pitch, and that is ball 4. The runners were taken off, but it doesn't matter, so the bases are now loaded with 1 out. If I had to take a guess, both runners thought there were 2 outs, but instead there's now 1 out, and a big at bat coming up here. Aiden Russell coming up to bat. He is 1 for 1 so far. He was hit by a pitch twice in this one, and he had a 2-run double in the 3rd inning. Now he has the bases loaded. Aiden Russell, the best player for the Mustangs when it comes to bases loaded situations. And he looks at first pitch strike. A ball to the outfield could give West Perry the lead, which will be huge here in the 6th inning. And he gets the bunt down, another suicide squeeze, and that just gets foul. Oh, a big break there for Juniata. Going for a second suicide squeeze. They were successful on that in the 5th inning when Noah Kittner had a suicide squeeze bunt down. That got Tanner Baker to score from 3rd with the bases loaded. That tied the game up at 4-4, which is where we are now. But now it's an 0-2 count. We'll see if West Prairie will want to go for that suicide squeeze here again, but with 2 strikes, it's very dangerous to go for any kind of bunt. And that is called strike 3. That looked to be down low. But I'm not the home plate umpire. I am not Myron Lebo, and that's a big out number 2. West Perry has stranded the bases loaded twice already in this game. And now up next is Derek Snook. Derek Snook 0 for 1 so far. He walked twice in this one. And he ground out to 3rd in the 3rd inning. And he looks at a first pitch ball. Bases are loaded. Only 1 hit so far in this game. That was a 1-out single from Nelson Seybold. Followed by a hit by pitch and a walk. Now a strikeout. Bases loaded with 2 outs, and there is called strike 1. A base hit will give West Perry the lead. Derek Snook could be the man to do it. And here's a big swing. That's got to split the gap. That's a base hit, ladies and gentlemen. 1 run is going to come scoring. Here comes 2. The run from first is coming around 3rd to score. And it's a 3-run double for Derek Snook. And for the first time since the 2nd inning, West Perry now has a 7-4 lead. Bases clearing double for Derek Snook. The biggest hit of the game so far for the Mustangs. That's the first hit of the game for Derek Snook. The 2nd hit of this inning. And the came with 2 outs. Pinch runner now coming on here for Westbury. And up next is Noah Kittner. He laid down a suicide squeeze in the 5th inning to tie the game up at 4. But now Westbury, with a 7-4 lead in the bottom of the 6th, they are now 3 outs away from a huge win against Juniata. Noah Kittner looks at first pitch ball. And there's strike 1. We said earlier by Westbury stranding the bases loaded for a lot of times this season, but the biggest hit with the bases loaded so far this season for the Mustangs. And that ball was ripped right at the pitcher, and the side is retired for the first in time. But the damage has been done. A 3-run double from Derek Snook gives Westbury a 7-4 lead. Westbury is now 3 outs away from getting their first 3-game winning streak on the year. We'll be right back for the top of the 7th inning. Westbury up 7-4. You're watching Westbury baseball against the Juniata Indians exclusively on the Westbury Athletic Parks YouTube page. We'll be right back for the top of the 7th and final inning. We are back here for the top of the 7th and final inning. Westbury getting 3 runs on a bases clearing 3-run double from Derek Snook. Westbury up 7-4, but it's the top of the lineup queued up here for Juniata. Here's the leadoff hitter, Dawson Harper. He swings a big pitch. Nelson Sibo still on the mound looking for the complete game. It hasn't been pretty, but now Seybold looking for the complete game victory. Oh, 1 pitch down low, 1 ball and 1 strike to Dawson Harper. Harper 1 for 3 so far. He had a single in the 3rd and later came around to score. His last at bat was in the 4th inning, grounding out to Johnny Clegg at 2nd. And that's ball 2. For Juniata, 3 runs. Being down by 3 runs, it's definitely doable. They scored 3 runs in the 3rd inning on 4 straight base hits. There's a 2-1 pitch, a swing, and that's going to go out of play. So the count now goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Juniata second baseman, Dawson Harper. And here's a big swing from Harper. Going over to center field, Trenton Baker has it, and that's the first out of the inning. Nice drop there for Trenton Baker out there at center field. That's the first out of the inning. Westbury looking for their 3rd straight win. Also looking for their first 3-game winning streak of the year. Up next is Josh Baumberger. He was the starting pitcher. He was only on the mound for 2 innings, but he has been a tough out for today. He is 2 for 3. He grounded out to third base in the first inning on a hard liner, and then he got a single in the third inning and followed that up with a leadoff double in the fifth before being picked out of the fifth inning. Here's a ground ball to Trent Herrera. Trent Herrera throws over to Snook in time, and that's the second out of the inning. Last chance coming up here for Juniata. It's Jacob Condo, the left fielder. He is also 2 for 3 in this game. He had a single in the first, later caught stealing, and then he had an RBI single in the third inning to get Juniata on the board. And he flew out to right field his last time up. Jacob Condo looks at first pitch ball. West Prairie's Nelson Seybold on the mound, looking for a complete game victory. One note pitch, outside for ball 2. If this score holds up, Paul Ames will get the loss for Juniata, and Nelson Sibo will get the win on the mound. There's a swing, fly up to left field, and Noah Kittner grabs it, and that's the ball game. West Prairie with a 7-4 victory, a 1-2-3 inning for Nelson Siebold to finish it, and the ball game is over. West Prairie winning 7-4. We'll be right back in 30 seconds for the post-game wrap-up here at West Prairie High School. Your final score once again, West Prairie 7, Juniata 4. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. We are right back here for the West Prairie post-game wrap-up. As you can see right now, West Prairie out there in right field, about to get a huge congratulations from West Prairie head coach Jeff Stano. It's a huge day for West Prairie baseball. Their third straight win. This is now their first 3-game winning streak of the year. They have won back-to-back games twice this season, but they never until now had 3 straight victories. All 3 of them here at home. As I said, West Prairie baseball playing some good baseball, playing really good at the batter's box, especially on offense. But now, for the first time since Game 1, West Prairie has a winning record. With this win, they go to 6-5 overall. For Juniata, this is now their second straight loss. They are now 2-8 on the year. Next time out for both teams, Juniata will be at home on Wednesday to take on Lion Mountain at 4:30 for a matchup in the Tri-Valley League. For West Prairie, they'll be at home right back here tomorrow for a 4:30 start against the Boiling Springs Bubblers in the Mid-Penn Colonial Division matchup. A very exciting game tomorrow, West Prairie versus Boiling Springs, and that game will be broadcast live here on the West Prairie Athletic Department's YouTube page. Your star of the game, Derek Snook. Didn't do much on offense. He walked twice before his last at-bat in the 6th inning, but Derek Snook delivered with a double that scored 3 runs, a 3-run double with the bases loaded that gave West Prairie a 7-4 lead and followed by a 1-2-3 inning from Nelson Siebold. Seybold had a really good game with a complete game, only giving up 3 earned runs with 6 strikeouts in the victory. Nelson Seybold with the win. Your bottom line score: West Prairie 7 runs. First for victorious West Prairie Mustangs. West Prairie 7 runs on 6 hits, 2 errors, and they left a whole bunch of runners on base. For Juniata, 4 runs on 9 hits, 1 error, and left several other. They left 5 runners on base. So that's gonna do it for us here at West Prairie High School. A big win for West Prairie. Now 6-5 on the year. They'll be right back in action tomorrow against the Boiling Springs Bombers, and that game will be broadcast live here on the West Prairie Athletic Partners YouTube page. First pitch is scheduled for 4:30. On behalf of West Prairie High School Athletic Director Ryan Anderson and West Prairie High School Principal Chris Ron and all of us here at West Prairie High School, thank you for joining us. This has been a presentation of West Prairie Baseball, exclusively on the West Prairie Athletic Partners YouTube page. Once again, your final score on this one: West Prairie 7, Juniata 4. We'll see you tomorrow for West Prairie Baseball against Boiling Springs. Good night.